Namaskar children. After studying the various types of chemical reactions, redox reactions and the various examples of all these reactions, today we are in the last module of our chapter 1 and today we will be covering the topics of corrosion and transidity. First of all, I am going to take up corrosion. Children, you must have observed around yourselves that there are several metals like iron, copper, silver. After some time they become dull and they are not shiny and bright as they are in the showrooms. All the new objects, when they are brought, they are shiny and they are lustrous, they have metallic sheen, but after some time, over a period of time, they become dull, or we say they become corroded, or they become tarnished over the period of time. What actually this corrosion is? Corrosion is a slow oxidation process which may be due to the various substances that are present in the environment. That can be due to oxygen, that can be due to moisture, that can be due to carbon dioxide, gases like sulfur dioxide, or it could be due to dilute acids. Okay, children? Now, what are the effects of corrosion? The objects become dull, they become tarnished, their quality loses in terms of their pricing, and they also lose their strength. Now, what happens during corrosion? A thin layer of corroded substance develops over the metal surface. Now, for example, the most commonly used metal in our daily lives is iron. You must have observed iron railings, iron stands, iron benches becoming reddish after a period of time. They develop a flaky layer around themselves. This is known as rust, and this process is known as rusting. More specifically, corrosion in iron is known as rusting. Now, rusting is mainly due to the reaction of iron with oxygen and moisture present in the atmosphere. Now, what happens? Iron reacts with oxygen in the presence of moisture to form hydrated ferric oxide, which is brown and flaky in texture. And what it leads to? It leads to a permanent change that occurs in iron, which is irreversible and which leads to the loss of quality of iron articles. For example, in ships, children, every year in ships, a large amount of waste is generated. Why? Because the iron ships get corroded because they are present. Some of the surface is covered with water, and with oxygen they react and they produce large quantities of rust, and it leads to the damage of ships in terms of strength and monetary loss also, which has to be replaced after some time. Now, another metal which is very common, that is copper. Children, you all must have seen the picture of Statue of Liberty. Some of you might have visited New York and you must have seen Statue of Liberty also. Now, originally it was made of copper alloys basically. Now it has developed a greenish layer over it. Now, I have taken this example so that you always remember that the color of corroded copper is green. Now, what happens over a period of time? Copper reacts with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere in the presence of moisture, and it forms a mixture of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide, which is green in color. Children, over here I would like to make a point. We have studied the reaction of copper combining with oxygen to form copper oxide when heated. Now, many a times children make this mistake, and because iron reacts with oxygen, they often presume that copper also reacts with oxygen present in the atmosphere to form black copper oxide. But this is an example of oxidation when heat is being provided externally. This is not corrosion, because corrosion is a slow process. So this is not corrosion. This is corrosion in which green layer of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide is formed. Last, I will take up the example of silver. Many of the ladies, they use silver jewelry, and we often use silver articles for decorating our houses. Silver also over a period of time develops black coating, which is known as tarnishing of silver. Now this black coating is of silver sulfide. Where does the silver sulfide come from? Silver reacts with hydrogen sulfide present in the atmosphere, which is in traces, however, but silver combines with it, forming black colored silver sulfide. So iron forms reddish brown rust on combining with iron and with oxygen and moisture. Copper forms greenish layer of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide due to the reaction with carbon dioxide in presence of moisture, and silver forms silver sulfide due to reaction with hydrogen sulfide. Now, how can we prevent corrosion of metals? Because as I told you, it leads to a lot of loss of metals in terms of their quality, market value, and they need to be replaced, and in terms of strength also, because all these are permanent changes. These are irreversible changes. You cannot get the original metal by any physical means. So basically loss. So corrosion can be prevented by coating with paint or using some polish over the metal, because it breaks the contact with the environment. Then we can also adopt galvanization. Children, galvanization is a method of coating a thin, very thin layer of zinc over a article, which basically again cuts the contact with external environment. Similarly, electroplating with chromium and some other metals also, basically in which electrolysis is used to coat a very thin layer of another metal. Then oiling can also stop the contact. Oiling and greasing is done in machine parts in order to ensure that they don't come in contact with the moisture and air, and the wear and tear basically does not occur. Similarly, anodizing, in which aluminium is used to coat a thin layer of aluminium oxide, and alloying. Alloying basically converts these metals into their alloys. Alloys which are homogeneous mixtures, homogeneous solutions of solid solutions of metals with some other metals or some non-metals also. For example, steel. Steel is an alloy of iron. If we use iron articles in our day-to-day kitchen dealing. So what will happen? We will find a lot of rusting taking place because it is constantly in exposure to moisture. But steel does not rust. So steel is an alloy in which iron is mixed with carbon and some amount of nickel as well. So children, I would like to mention over here the example of apple also. You must have seen when you cut apple, what your mother says, don't keep it cut, don't keep the cut apple for long because it turns brown. Now that brownish layer is also because of the iron that is present in apples, and that iron combines with oxygen and moisture. Moist तो होता ही है, it is moist, it is having moisture, and it forms that brownish layer. That is the reason it is said that you should not eat, you should not consume that that apple which has changed its color. So children, this is about corrosion, and we'll now take up rancidity. Rancidity is also an application of oxidation only. Now rancidity is the change in taste and flavor of the food substances which contain oil or fats in them. For example, snacks made of wheat flour or gram flour, bhujiyas, your samosas, your mattis, your namkeens, your chips, all these snacks are having fats or ghee or oil as an important element or important component. So what happens? Because of exposure to air, these fats, they react with oxygen basically and they undergo oxidation. So this leads to a bad taste. It is not actually spoiled, but it does not smell very good and it does not give you the nice flavor. Once you open the namkeen packet, you find it very fresh and crunchy. Remember children, it is different from becoming soggy. Soggy is because of moisture. The difference in taste when some crunchy thing becomes soggy is because of moisture. Here I am talking about oxidation, in which there is a change in smell and flavor of substance. In food items with fats or oil. Now, how can we prevent rancidity? We can prevent rancidity by several methods. For example, first one, avoiding exposure to oxygen. The best thing, what do? We open a packet, we immediately store it in an airtight container. By storing the food items in airtight containers, we can prevent rancidity. Second thing, by the use of antioxidants. Children, these days, these substances, antioxidants, are mixed in food items, especially packaged food items, which delay the process of oxidation. So this is also one of the methods. Then third is use of nitrogen gas. Now nitrogen is a very unreactive and inert kind of gas. Now it is present in atmosphere. It is more than 70% in atmosphere, and its function is to basically dilute the oxygen and reduce the the effect of oxygen. So basically, when nitrogen gas is added or is flushed in the food items, for example chips and namkeens, the air that is filled inside those packets, it is not oxygen, it is basically nitrogen. And because of the nitrogen, they do not get oxidized easily. So this is also one of the methods. Refrigeration also to some extent may be used to prevent rancidity, because it cuts the contact with the external environment, and under low temperature the reactions of oxidation also they slow down basically. So these are the methods of prevention of rancidity. Children, these topics are very small and they seem to be very easy, but they are quite scoring. They are often asked in board exam. So I would request you to remember the corrosion, how corrosion is occurring, especially in iron, copper and silver, how we can prevent corrosion, what rancidity is, and how rancidity can be prevented. Thank you.